Syrian army continues crushing operations against terrorist organizations, repelling their attacks on military posts and killing increasing numbers of their members. And Hezbollah Secretary General Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah says Israeli enemy must understand that resistance will no longer heed the rules of engagement. More than 150 Iraqis are killed or wounded as a result of several terrorist attacks. Good afternoon, this is News in English from the Syrian Arab television in Damascus. The Russian Foreign Ministry said that Russia will be ready to continue assisting Syrian contacts by all possible means. It noted in a statement that the inter-Syrian discussions which took place in Moscow in January reflects an increasing inclination on the part of the various components of the Syrian society towards searching more effectively and actively for means to restore peace in the country. Hezbollah Secretary General Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah said that the Israeli enemy must understand that the Lebanese resistance will no longer heed or accept the rules of engagement as it is its ethical and legal right to repel any aggression. Nasrallah's strident message came during a festival held in honor of the resistance martyrs in Quneitra. He added that from now on, when a fighter from the resistance is assassinated, the Israeli enemy will be held responsible, and thus resistance will have the right to respond wherever and whenever it seeks and sees fit, and in the way it deems appropriate. Nasrallah indicated that the resistance had not had second thoughts about the necessity of retaliation, even if things went to extremes, pointing out to a state of confusion in the ranks of Israel following the assassinations of these resistance fighters, which he said prompted it to declare a state of emergency to send threats via different countries and channels. He went on to say that the resistance operation happened in broad daylight and came at the height of the Israeli alert and readiness, leaving Israel at a loss as to what really happened. Unlike Israel, Nasrallah added resistance claimed responsibility for the retaliatory operation soon after it was carried out. Hezbollah's Secretary General considered that Israel is manipulating the situation in Syria in the worst possible way to suit its own interests, referring to the support it provides for the Takfiri terrorist organization. In our local news, the Syrian Arab Army units continue to clash and chase terrorists in a number of areas in Dar'a countryside to the south of the country, killing and injuring large numbers of them and establishing control over areas north of Meskin city. Another army unit killed and injured all members of a terrorist group west of Ataman in Dar'a countryside, while in Idlib units of the Syrian army and armed forces thwarted at dawn terrorist attacks launched against military posts in Jabal Arba'in area in the countryside of the city. Other army units foiled attempts by members of terrorist organizations to infiltrate Ariha city in the countryside, while in Hasaka, army units crushed a den belonging to Islamic State of Iraq and Syria ISIS, along with the terrorists inside it in Tel Brak in the northern countryside of the city. Army units targeted terrorists in Al-Shafra and Al-Mri'iyya in the countryside of Deir Zor city, killing and injuring many of them. While in Latakia, also to the north of the country, Syrian military units eliminated a large number of terrorists and destroyed caches containing rockets and mortar shells and vehicles equipped with heavy machine guns. In Marj Shili, Ghamman, Kitfar Rumman and Kinsibba in the northern countryside of Latakia. A civilian was killed and 7 others injured by terrorist rockets launched on Al-Aziziyya neighborhood in Aleppo city. The news correspondent in Aleppo said that 3 rockets hit the densely populated area, adding that the attack also caused huge material damage to properties there. In Idlib, Hama, Homs and Idlib, the latest months have witnessed an increase of numbers of gunmen who wanted to turn themselves in. 226 gunmen turned themselves into authorities and their cases were settled. The latest months have witnessed a surge in these numbers of wanted people and gunmen who are turning themselves into the proper authorities in various areas across the country. The majority of them were released after authorities settled their legal status. 54 were killed while 125 were injured during a series of explosions in Baghdad, Samarra and Ramadi and Kirkuk. A terrorist attack in a twin-car bomb has targeted a crowded market in the middle of Baghdad city, killing more than 44 and wounding another 70, whereas in Samarra a suicidal explosion has targeted the public forces, killing 2 policemen and wounding 6 others. On the other hand, the Iraqi army has foiled an attempt for the terrorists to attack against the Iraqi army surrounding Fallujah, while this attack is considered the fiercest in Iraq. Belgian police has arrested 4 terrorists during an attack on a terrorist cell for training terrorists and sending them into Syria. Intelligence sources said that hundreds of European terrorists who are heading to Syria through Bulgaria and Turkey, as the British Financial Times called the West, specifically the United States and Britain, to lay pressure on Al Saud authorities in order to stop exporting extremism to the world. Several Bahraini areas have witnessed mass demonstrations against the trial of Al-Wifaq General Secretary Sheikh Ali Salman. The demonstrators have called for immediate release of all political detainees, stressing on their continuous popular movements until their demands are being considered, whereas Al-Khalifa authorities continue their suppressive policy against the Bahrainis using the poisonous gas bombs. With this, we conclude our news for today. Thank you for watching. For more details about Syria and the region and to view this bulletin again, you can always visit our website in English, www.syriaonline.sy. Now the latest business and market news with Nariman, but after a short break.